I hope y'all are staying safe with this bad weather we're having, but let's get into it. So this is Fitness and Mental Health. My name is Gabe. I'm a sophomore immunology major on the pre-med track. I've always been very interested in fitness. I played soccer my whole life. I stopped when I came to college, but I started working out, running, just to kind of keep in shape, kind of blow off steam from academic stress, other stress. And I wanted to become a mental health ambassador to help spread positive mental health awareness through the lens of fitness. So.
Hey everyone, my name is Mohammad. Major in neuroscience. I'm a sophomore on the pre-med track. And to me, fitness has always been an integral part of being able to focus on school, kind of like Gabe was saying, to vent off stress. And I joined Mental Health Ambassadors for an important part, which was to spread awareness on the helpful and beneficial ways to be able to blow off that steam and to ensure that nothing's holding you back from becoming successful.
And my name is Coren, and I am a neuroscience and psychology major. I've been kind of using fitness as a coping mechanism ever since I was young, but I really started getting into it in high school and introducing things other than weightlifting as I went into college and started encountering new problems. I joined MHA primarily to get more acclimated in terms of my ability to help other people with their mental health issues and kind of expose myself to situations in which I can help other people.
All right, so just a quick disclaimer. Some topics we might discuss today are sensitive to mental illness. Please take care of yourself. If these are sensitive topics that could potentially trigger you, feel free to leave the Zoom, step away, do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And we are not trained mental health professionals. We are peer educators just trying to spread mental health awareness, positive mental health. So we are here to educate, but not necessarily help with that. So if you are in need of someone to talk to, UAB has great resources. They have an entire app where you can set up counseling, or you can visit their website. They have great counselors. So that is there for you if you need it. All right, goals of the presentation. We're going to discuss how mental health and fitness relate to one another. We're briefly going to discuss some healthy and unhealthy coping mechanisms, introduce several areas of fitness, give examples of a personal healthy routine and some tips on how to achieve that, and then we'll do a quick Q&A at the end.
The relationship between mental health and physical health. So physical health through many studies has been shown to directly impact symptoms of mental health. And so exercising encourages release of happy hormones such as endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, etc. And it also helps maintain healthy levels of cortisol, which has a lot to do with stress. And so in this sense, physical activity can be utilized as a coping mechanism. And so like we were referencing earlier, kind of as a way to blow off steam or deal with external stressors. This can be anything from punching a punching bag between study sessions or getting a workout in at the gym.
So since we're going to be looking at fitness as a coping mechanism, we need to address exactly what a coping mechanism is. So a coping mechanism is going to be whatever action you take when you are under some kind of emotional or physical distress. And these can be generally healthy or unhealthy, depending on how you approach them. Exercise is generally going to be a very healthy coping mechanism, and we'll explain why as we go through the presentation. Talking with a professional and friend is generally going to be very healthy. Eating healthy foods and maintaining a good sleep schedule, I find those to be foundational for keeping other coping mechanisms in check. And once those begin to fall apart, you seem to see, like a lot of other times, people will lose their other healthy coping mechanisms. And another thing that people don't address is relaxation techniques. People tend to purge themselves of their stress rather than directly addressing it. And unhealthy coping mechanisms, this is going to look like drug and alcohol abuse, avoiding inner thoughts and feelings, the implications for those are the way that you look at these things and the timing that you use them, not necessarily the act of doing them. Same, self-harm is going to have some self-image issues for sure. And like I said, unsustainable eating and sleeping patterns are going to impact the other coping mechanisms that you're trying to uphold to maintain good mental health.
Get a little internet connection.
Yeah, figured this would happen with the current weather situation.
Right.
Stop sharing for 1 second, pull it back up. Okay.
We apologize, guys. We were not anticipating that it was going to come an actual flood and, you know, all that good stuff directly in the middle of our presentation.
All right. There we go.
Right. So we're going to address 3 main types of fitness, and Gabe is going to talk about resistance training, or Mohammad is going to talk about resistance training. Gabe is going to talk about cardio, and I'm going to jump into yoga and meditation.
So resistance training, also called weightlifting, is just utilizing weights or some other form of force in order to build muscle. And so this mode of exercise requires equipment and adequate space, which we'll also get into in a bit. And so the physical goals of this type of exercise is to increase muscle mass or strength. And this also goes into improving body composition, because improving composition can be anything from reducing body fat percentage to improving physique and overall organ health. It really just depends on the mode of exercise itself, as well as what your specific goals are. And this can be done at a gym or at home. And the mental health benefits behind them. So according to Harvard Health Journal, people with depression who perform strength training 2 or more days a week saw a significant decrease in the symptoms they experienced. And so this is kind of referencing to what I was talking about earlier, which it increases the release of endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, which are known as the happy hormones. And it also helps in maintaining sustainable cortisol levels to help hold back and maintain stress. And so this chemical release of hormones can be extremely helpful to get through a tough day. And so if you've been stressed from school, for example, a workout in the biological sense will help. So this release can help manage imbalances that may eventually lead to symptoms, and can assist in the physiological side of the mental health or emotional struggles that someone may be going through. And it also, studies show, improves memory and cognitive function after a workout, and can also improve self-esteem and confidence. And I've seen this, relate to myself, where if I were to work out between study sessions, or get an exercise session in right before an exam, nothing too intense, I did see improvements in grades and exam scores. And this has to do with holding back anxiety, or improving self-esteem, and improving memory and cognitive function.
So aerobic exercise or cardio is any activity intended to elevate heart rate, stimulate the aerobic processes. This includes running, biking, swimming, most sports. The physical goals are to increase endurance, improve overall health, improve cardiovascular health. A little bit of what Mohammad was talking about: body composition, reduce body fat, improve organ health, and can be done potentially anywhere. As you can see in this picture, where I'm definitely running and not posing, the rec has a great little track you can run on with a nice view of campus. Okay, so the mental health benefits. It shares a lot associated with weightlifting that Mohammad just talked about, but since it's so good for your heart, there have been studies that show it can help with anxiety. So according to the Journal of Clinical Psychiatry, it has shown to reduce both anxiety and depression by doing the following: increasing blood flow to the brain. When increased blood flow, your brain is getting all the necessary nutrients that it needs, which allows it to function at the highest level possible. So this next line, influencing the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, These are areas in the brain and in the body that control our reaction to stress. So when you're running, it is a physically stressful event. Your body hurts, your muscles are sore, you're under a lot of tension, strain, your heart rate's elevated. Your body thinks you are undergoing a physically stressful event. The reaction to stress, whether it's physical or mental, is the same through these areas of the brain. So it responds to this physically stressful event. In the future, when you have a emotionally or mentally stressful event, your body is actually better prepared to handle this stress due to these brain regions being activated. The next part of this, it improves mood and motivation through the limbic system. So the limbic system is responsible for your overall mood, basic emotions, behavior, and memory. So running will affect these areas, or biking, whatever it is, and actually have shown to improve your mood, your behavior, and cognitive function. So like Mohammad was talking about with working out, it can help you study, prepare for an exam, whatever it is. For me, I have a very love-hate relationship with running. Physically, I hate it. It hurts. I'm very tired afterwards. I just want to go lay in bed. But mentally, emotionally, I'm having a stressful day. I can just go run. I can escape whatever I'm stressed about, just be me, myself, and I can focus on myself and not worry about other problems. So mentally, it's very freeing for me to be able to step away from my problems and just focus on myself and running while undergoing stress or just a regular day.
All right, so yoga and meditation are going to be generally much lower in energy comparatively to the cardio and the weightlifting, unless you are doing anything similar to what I'm doing in the bottom right corner and holding Gabriel up on your legs. At which point you may be under a lot of stress and it may be very high energy. That being said, you would probably want your first session to be guided, whether it's yoga or meditation. When I first started, I thought that I had, all this background knowledge. I watched all these shows. I watched Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan knows what meditation and yoga is all about. So of course, I'll just be able to do it intuitively. That's not exactly what happens. So you kind of have to make sure that you're doing it correctly and getting the benefits. Guided at first is going to benefit you the best, most likely, and then moving into individual is going to be better. In terms of physical goals, increased flexibility and muscle toning is going to be seen in yoga, and both of these are going to strengthen the diaphragm and encourage proper breathing techniques. They're both going to help your focus, and this is going to have implications elsewhere. And unlike cardio and resistance training, these can be mostly done anywhere that you have enough space to move your body around or just have a quiet area. It's going to be harder starting out to have an ideal space, but as you get through it, it'll be much easier. Listening to your family in the background is not going to be as distracting and all that good stuff. So the benefits.
Yeah, hold on. Another internet problem.
So glad we took the day off yesterday for our wellness day so we could not have internet today.
There we go.
All right, so the mental health benefits. This is going to have a different approach than cardio and resistance training, but it's going to essentially have the same benefits to a certain extent. You're going to be reducing anxiety and stress through a reduction of the actual chemicals in the blood, and you're going to have a lot more quote unquote happy hormones. But this is going to be a result of, instead of exposing yourself to the physical state and your body getting adjusted to that, it's going to be you essentially thinking in a way that filters out the negativity to a certain extent. You're going to perceive less stress, according to Harvard Mental Health Letter, and it's going to be easier for you to maintain those happy hormones and a healthy level of the stress hormones throughout your day. And this has been beneficial for me because I just generally wake up in not a terrible mood, but I don't wake up every day with this happy-go-lucky attitude. So I find that starting off the day, with meditation and just slowing things down instead of getting so anxious about everything that I have to do. I just sit down and take 10 minutes to just be calm. And that has helped me significantly in my ability to focus on my school and not worry so much about getting things done, but actually putting work towards things. My contentment overall has gotten better as a result.
And so given the current pandemic and the spread of the virus, all of these exercises can be modified and strategized to be done in a safe manner, given the safety regulations and policies. And this can be in your own home or in a socially distanced area. And we'll go through the three different modes of exercises today to talk about how these can be done. And so the first one, which is resistance training. And so without a gym, resistance bands and bodyweight exercises can be used in place of weighted equipment. And so, once COVID broke out, I went ahead and bought an $80 machine, which basically allows me to do most bodyweight exercises, pull-ups, dips, push-ups, ab exercises in my garage. And so resistance bands are also another example. They're very inexpensive and easy access and easy to set up. Which is really important. And so you can watch just any YouTube tutorial. And you can also get dumbbells, which are a little more on the expensive side, but can also be done at home in a safe manner. And so, or you could just stick to the basics, pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups. These can all be strategized. And as long as they're well thought out and prepared, you can get a lot of good workouts in from the safety of your home.
Right, so running, biking, this can be done really anywhere with enough space to move around. Parks, running trails, even around your neighborhood. Right here is Railroad Park, which is literally like a few blocks from campus. Beautiful park, has some running trails. This is where I like to go, not necessarily here, but I like to go to parks and running trails. It's a pretty environment. It's nice things to look at. That's my personal preference, but kind of depends on yours.
So I would say that actually grew as a result of the pandemic. Yoga and meditation became not easier to do, but more mainstream as everyone was, becoming stuck in their rooms for the most part. And as long as you're in a comfortable and quiet place, and most of the time that's where everybody was during the pandemic, you can do yoga and meditation. That's actually when I began taking it up the most, was when we got sent back from school. So as long as you are in your dorm somewhere and you're not disrupting people and you are not burdening yourself by being angry at people for, disrupting your meditation, then there's no real impedance in terms of COVID, I would think.
Okay, so we just presented a lot of information. You could be getting overwhelmed, a lot of fitness, a lot of different activities. Maybe you've done some exercising before. We're going to give you on this slide some tips on creating healthy practices, creating healthy routines, stuff that we've used in the past that's helped us implement fitness into our life. So the number one thing is you have to find what works for you. Some people absolutely hate running. They hate it, they'll never do it. That's okay. If you don't like running, find something else. Find weightlifting or yoga or some other area of fitness, but you have to find out what works for you and try to achieve that. With this being said, when to do fitness, you also have to find out. I've gone through times where I wake up every morning and I immediately go to the gym, start my day off with some running and working out. I've also gone through times where I haven't had time to do that. So if I've had a bad day, a stressful day, I'll go for a run just to, I've had a long day. I'm going to go blow off some steam, escape the day. This really just depends on you, what your personal preferences are, knowing your schedule and when's best to exercise. But like I said, finding what works for you. Setting reasonable expectations for goals. You don't want to get overwhelmed. If you say, I'm going to work out 3 hours a day, every day of the week, that's a lot. Even if it's once a week, once a month, whatever it is, find something that's reasonable for your situation and try to achieve that. Just make sure you don't go in over your head, because you'll get overwhelmed, you'll get discouraged, and you get discouraged, then you'll just give up. And find what works for you, set reasonable expectations. Balancing comfort with discomfort. This is important, and like I said on my earlier slide, I physically hate running. It's very not comfortable for me, but the mental health benefits of it are really important for me. So there are going to be things that you might not enjoy. Sometimes you have to balance that discomfort with the comfort and the benefits it gives. Now, if there are certain things you absolutely hate, don't do them. A little discomfort is okay. A lot of discomfort is not okay. We don't want you hurting yourself or not enjoying it. The purpose of this is to do something you enjoy that helps you physically and mentally. Self-confidence and motivation boosted by sticking to a routine. This is what I was saying earlier about setting reasonable expectations. If you stick to a routine, you say, I'm going to go to the gym once a week. You go to the gym once a week, you're going to be more motivated. Your self-confidence is going to go up. It's going to encourage you. It's going to be a really big help. This is why you can't set too high of expectations. This also routine can be anything from like what exercises you want to do, whatever it is. Just have an idea of what you want to do, set some goals, try to achieve them to the best that you can. If you miss a day at the gym, it's okay. It's like you're busy, you wanted to go to the gym today, something came up, that's not the end of the world. Go tomorrow, go next week, whatever it is. Just try your best to set reasonable expectations for yourself and achieve those. And finally, consider finding a workout partner. As you can see on the screen, these are my two dogs playing, happy as can be. They love playing with each other. This kind of relates to working out. Having a workout partner to go to the gym with you, to do the exercises with you, it helps you stay motivated, it helps them stay motivated. You're doing something with someone together. There's a bond that's formed there. Encouragement. I know Coren and I, when we lived together, we would go to the gym every single day together. Mohammad can talk a little bit about the importance of him working out with partners. Yeah.
For sure. And just to piggyback on what you were saying earlier with balancing comfort with discomfort, one thing I used to do is for cardio, and like you, Gabe, I'm not a big fan of it. I used to live about 1.5 miles from Red Mountain Park. And so what I used to do was make myself run there for my cardio exercise and make sure that I don't take a car or have anyone pick me up, to ensure that I kind of pin myself in that position where I have to run back. And so that lets me finish the 3-mile mark. And so that really just depends on you finding what works for you and implementing it into a routine. And you can also have, like you were saying, a workout partner who can push you to that extent. I also have a friend who does have a gym set up at his house. And so, you know, these days it might be smarter to work out at your home. But I also know that something he used to do was still sign up for a gym and go there, because that whole act of driving to the gym kind of motivates him to finish the workout, or to even, you know, excel past what he wanted to do initially. So it's really just learning about yourself and what's going to push you to do more and to benefit yourself more.
The UREC Center, absolutely fantastic. If you haven't been there, highly recommend it. They've got beautiful equipment, beautiful facilities. They have a running track. They have weightlifting rooms. They have a pool for swimming. They have different courts. It's free if you're a student. I recommend going. And they also will host events, presentations similar to this, different presentations, or they'll have like actual classes, like they'll have a yoga instructor come and give a presentation on guided yoga and meditation. So you can check out their website for information on those events. Here are all the references that we talked about in our presentation. If you're interested in learning more, a lot of these go into the science behind it that we didn't really discuss, because it's honestly complicated. And yeah, but if you're science-based, you want to learn more about the science, here are the websites. Contact info, if you have questions about our presentation, about fitness, about setting up a routine, feel free to email us, and also follow the Mental Health Ambassadors Instagram. We post updates, we post different self-care things, events, presentations. Go follow our Instagram, it's pretty good. Okay, so to end the presentation, we're gonna open it up to questions. You can either put your question in the chat, unmute, whatever you are comfortable with doing.